I look forward to having the hostages come home to their parents. Everybody was unified in wanting this war to end and seeing peace in the Middle East. And we're very close to achieving that.
And if the occupation ends and the Palestinians control themselves and there is a Palestinian state, Hamas no longer gonna have any kind of weapon.
For the first time since the Gaza conflict began nearly 2 years ago, US President Donald Trump has publicly called on Israel to immediately halt its strikes on the enclave. On October 3rd, Trump ordered Israel to immediately stop bombing Gaza as he welcomed Hamas's partial acceptance of his ultimatum to end the war. In his post on Truth Social, Trump declared,
"Based on the statement just issued by Hamas, I believe they are ready for a lasting peace. Israel must immediately stop the bombing of Gaza so that we can get the hostages out safely and quickly. Right now, it's far too dangerous to do that. We are already in discussions on details to be worked out. This is not about Gaza alone. This is about long-sought peace in the Middle East."
Trump's remarks came shortly after Hamas announced it had formally submitted its response to Washington's ceasefire proposal. Hamas, on October 3rd, said it would agree to some of the terms in President Trump's plan to end the Gaza war, including releasing hostages, but avoided addressing more vexing issues like disarmament and said it would seek further negotiations. According to Reuters, in a statement, Hamas issued its response to Trump's 20-point plan after the president gave the group until Sunday to accept or reject the proposal.
The Islamic Resistance Movement. Hamas announces its approval of releasing all occupation prisoners, both living and remains, according to the exchange formula contained in U.S. President Donald Trump's proposal, with the necessary field conditions for implementing the exchange.
While Hamas confirmed its willingness to participate in a large-scale prisoner exchange, it did not elaborate on how quickly it could carry this out. In a brief video message posted separately, Trump said it was a very special day and thanked the negotiating partners who facilitated the deal.
I want to thank the countries that helped me put this together: Qatar, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and so many others. So many people fought so hard. This is a big day. We'll see how it all turns out. We have to get the final word down in concrete. But thank you all, and thank you all to those great countries that helped. We were given a tremendous amount of help. Everybody was unified in wanting this war to end and seeing peace in the Middle East. And we're very close to achieving that. Thank you all, and everybody will be treated fairly.
Trump also addressed the humanitarian core of the agreement, the release of the hostages held by Hamas.
Very importantly, I look forward to having the hostages come home to their parents and having some of the hostages, unfortunately, you know the condition they're in, come home likewise to their parents, because their parents wanted them just as much as though that young man or young woman were alive. So I just want to let you know that this is a very special day, maybe unprecedented in many ways. It is unprecedented.
Meanwhile, Channel 12 News, citing an Israeli official, reported that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was caught off guard by President Trump's remarks. Netanyahu reportedly viewed the militant group's reply as a rejection of the American proposal, saying that the importance of coordinating closely with Washington to avoid any impression that Hamas had agreed to terms. Still, according to the network, some unelected officials believe the statement could open a narrow path toward a potential deal. Senior Hamas official Mousa Abu Marzouk told Al Jazeera in an exclusive interview on October 3rd that the group would not disarm before the Israeli occupation ends.
We're talking about the conditions to release all the president, the first conditions that the war should stop. As President Trump said, if we release all of the war prisoners, the war gonna stop. The second condition, the Israeli should withdraw from Gaza Strip. The third condition, there is all of the humanitarian help for the people in Gaza because they are suffering and they are in hunger and they are, you see, in very bad shape because the humanitarian aid closed since many months. Then they should release all of the occupation areas to go back to the border between Gaza and them. This is the kind of conditions need to negotiate about some details about this because it's impossible to release all of the war prisoner, the bodies or the corpse and the lives war prisoners because the corpse we need months to looking and digging and remove the rubble.
Speaking to Al Jazeera, Marzouk said the issues over Gaza's future should be discussed within a comprehensive Palestinian national framework, which Hamas will be part of.
The issues that Hamas, the weapon among Hamas, 90% of their capability, they destroyed it. Then there is nothing with Hamas talking about it, about women. The second thing, we, since in the beginning of this conflict, we told every mediator and everybody there, Hamas resist the occupation. And if the occupation ends and the Palestinians control themselves and there is a Palestinian state, Hamas no longer gonna have any kind of weapon. That mean they're gonna receive all. They sent all of the capabilities and to the Palestinian Authority. That's what we said from the beginning. We don't need the weapon if there is no occupation. We will never accept anyone out, not Palestinian, to control the Palestinian. This is, but this does not belong to Hamas only. This belongs all of the Palestinian and the Palestinian Authority.
Following the statements from Hamas and Trump on the American proposal to end the war in Gaza, the IDF announces that Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir met with top generals for a special situational assessment in light of the developments. A statement from the military says that, per the order of the political echelon, Zamir instructs the Israel Defense Forces to gear up for the implementation of the first stage of Trump's plans to free the hostages, without detailing what the order entails.
In accordance with the directive of the political echelon, the Chief of the General Staff instructed to advance readiness for implementing the first stage of the Trump plan for the release of the hostages. Alongside this, it was emphasized that the security of our forces is of the utmost priority, and that all IDF capabilities will be allocated to the Southern Command for the protection of our forces.
Meanwhile, Army Radio and the Cannes public broadcaster report that Israeli political leaders have ordered the military to halt the campaign to conquer Gaza City, after Trump called on Israel to stop striking in Gaza. Army Radio says the order calls for operations to be reduced to the minimum, with troops on the ground strictly carrying out defensive maneuvers, and was issued after overnight talks between Israeli and US officials. Cannes, meanwhile, says negotiations on Trump's plan are expected to be held soon. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office issued a rare overnight statement during Shabbat following Hamas's response to Trump's proposal.
Israel is prepared for the immediate implementation of the first stage of Trump's plan for the immediate release of all the hostages. We will continue to work in full cooperation with the President and his team to end the war in accordance with the principles laid out by Israel, which correspond with Trump's vision for ending the war.
However, the statement doesn't make any reference to Trump's call for Israel to immediately stop strikes in Gaza, which the US president stated was necessary to ensure the hostages can be safely and swiftly freed.